Hello again, people. Welcome back to HemingwayLand.com, your source for quality, affordable land in the state of New Mexico. I have been remiss. This property, doing a video for this property has been on my to-do list for longer than I care to admit. This property was actually listed on the website. It predates the time in which we were doing property videos. And it was part of a bulk acquisition back in 2018. We sold all the other properties in 2018, one or two in 2019, and yet this one's still hanging around. So I figured it's time to finally cross this off my to-do list, do a video for you guys. I've actually had a couple requests for this from people who are interested in the property. So with that said, let's get to it. This is reference number TRNM-177780. I think I threw an extra 7 in there. O like ostrich, located in Torrance County. 1 acre of land in the El Rancho Grande subdivision. And this 1 acre is priced at $17.50. $17.50, of course, is the cash price. Or if you can't afford the whole thing at once, you can do our financing option of $500 down, $150 a month for 20 months. We will get back to that a little bit later in the video. First, let's do as we always do and bring this up on a map. Down here, GPS coordinates, click them, and up on Google Maps, it shall appear. Let's pull back first, show you where this is within New Mexico, and then we'll talk about specifics. So, the population center of the state of New Mexico, Albuquerque, located right here in the north central part of the state, sits just about 35 minutes west of this property. That's about 35 minutes as the crow flies, something like that, 35 miles west of the subject property. This property, of course, is located just south of the I-40, so if you live and work in Albuquerque and you're looking for a piece of land that you can call your own, something where you're not going to have to worry about paying rent in the future, but you are going to be making those commutes back and forth, this is going to be an easy one for you. This is about 30 minutes along the highway, and realistically, that's probably 75, 80 mile an hour speed limit that you're driving, so you're probably going to be able to accomplish it a lot faster. Whatever the case, the property sits here in nearby Torrance County, which occupies pretty much all of this area right here. Of course, Torrance County just west of Albuquerque. Well, yeah, it's just west of Albuquerque. Anyway, the property here, just south of the 40, just west of the 41, El Rancho Grande subdivision is pretty much all of this area that you see cut up right here on a map. It's a very small subdivision, but it's also a residential subdivision. If we go to satellite view, kind of zoom in on it here, what you'll see is there's a number of people who are living out here, a number of some houses. More of this is mobile homes with permanent foundations that have been put out here, some modular homes. But all of that, of course, is acceptable in this region. What is not acceptable is parking an RV for indiscriminate periods of time. So if you do own an RV and that's what you're looking to do with land, this is not the property for you. If you own an RV and you're going to live out of it while you're building a permanent structure, that, of course, is something you can do out here. If you have a building permit, you're good for something like 12 months, and you can park that RV on the property while you are building. This property is 1 acre of land here on Esperanza Street, just east of Avienda del Sol. As you can see, it's got 2 neighbors alongside. I think this maybe what has turned some people off is that they don't want to be sandwiched between 2 neighboring lots. That being said, 1 acre of land is a pretty big chunk of land, so these neighbors are not going to be breathing down your neck. Also, it should be noted that here along Esperanza, you have power at the lot line in this region, so it's going to make it a lot easier and more affordable to hook up to the grid should you decide to build out here. Now, I'll get to photos of this in just a second. I just, however, want to point out to you guys, groceries and supplies, you've got a little bit of that down here nearby McIntosh. Realistically, you're going to be driving up to nearby Moriarty, where you've got some things like some big box stores, some chain restaurants, things like that, and of course things like churches, schools, some medical facilities out here, etc. So realistically, if you're going to be living in this region, Moriarty is where you're going to be doing a lot of your shopping, is where you're going to be going for groceries and supplies and various amenities. Of course, Moriarty is just about a 5-minute drive up the road, so not too far. And of course, some nice small town living out here in this region. Let's go to the photo gallery, and I will kind of show you guys what this lot looks like. This lot was one of about 3 that we purchased on this street, so these photos are from the street itself as well as property specific. We kind of combined some of them to expand this photo gallery. Whatever the case, you can see not only power at the lot line, but there's some underground utilities out here, phone lines. I believe there's also gas lines in this area. Roads are well maintained, going to be easily accessible by any vehicle type, and of course the land itself is nice and flat, easy to build on, easy to park on, park whatever you're going to put there. Notice RV parked here on this property. The official thing that the official rule per the zoning that I know as it exists out there is that you can't just park one for indiscriminate periods of time. But if you have a home on the property and you've got a vehicle that you drive, which in this case it's a vehicle, that works too. Whether it has a shed over it or not, I'm not exactly sure. May want to inquire with county zoning, but doesn't look like these people were having a problem with that. And honestly, I'd be surprised half the time if these things even get enforced. A lot of times it's more like just don't piss off the neighbors and you'll be fine, one of those. Whatever the case, as we look at the land, as noted, nice flat, buildable land, easy to build on, easy to park on, so it's going to be that much more affordable, and additionally, of course, with the utilities out there, that much easier. Blah, blah, blah. I'd like to point out a couple things that we have here on the listing page. I will let you guys scroll through the photos on your own time. Whatever the case, if this is a property that you are interested in and you want to do a little more research, first thing I'll direct your attention to is this PDF right here. If you click this, it will bring up here in a separate window. This area, this subdivision, is called a pre-platted / rural residential subdivision. And if you read through these, I think it's about 12 pages, you will see, at least per the county zoning ordinance, what you can and cannot do out there. They'll have some notes here about livestock. They'll have some notes here about RVs. A lot of this, I think, is a little too kind of difficult to work through, this checklist of things that are acceptable, not acceptable. So, as we always recommend, we have the County Planning and Zoning Office's phone number and their website linked here on this page. Best to call them if you have really specific plans, really idiosyncratic plans for what you want to do with the land. Shipping container, tiny home, things like that. There's probably additional permits that you'll need, things that you'll need to inquire with them about, questions that they can better answer. Whatever the case, this 12-page PDF will give you a better sense of things that you can do in this region. What I would say, as I say with all these listings, is if your plan is to build a single-family residence, you're not going to have any trouble. If you're putting down a mobile home, as long as you have a permanent foundation, you're probably also good. Nobody's going to take issue with that. It's when you start to get into these things that are, not conventional, not normal, like tiny homes, shipping container homes. That's where you really want to reach out to the county. The guy who works in Torrance County zoning is a guy named Steve, at least last time I talked to him. It's a guy named Steve. I think he's been there longer than the county has been a county, and he has a savant-like knowledge of all of their zoning ordinances. So he's a good guy to talk to. He's very informative. If you do have those sorts of questions, Steve is the guy to talk to. Additionally, we also have the Central New Mexico Electric Cooperative. These are the people who would be responsible for these power lines that are on your property. Click on their link right here and it will take you to their website. If you do have questions about realistically what it's going to get cost to hooked up to the grid, which again, because it's already on the lot line, should not be much. This, of course, is the people that you want to reach out to. Call and ask them. Say, hey, I'm looking to buy some property outside Moriarty. It's on Esperanza, whatever it is, Ave. You guys have got power out there. What do I need to know? What's this going to cost me? I mean, practically speaking, make me aware of everything I need to be aware of, etc. So that too is an excellent resource for you guys. If you're going to be drilling a well in this property, as with all parts of New Mexico, you're going to want to talk to the Office of the State Engineer. They are the ones responsible for permitting wells and water rights within the state for residential as well as commercial wells. So you can reach out and talk to them. If you have questions about water table, I would say that water table is one of these things that's difficult for us to give you a precise number about, and we always recommend talk to local vendors in the region. That being said, when you look around an area like this and you see this many residences out here, it's safe to assume that the water table is fairly accessible and affordable to tap into. It's not too deep. Typically, well drillers will charge on a price per foot basis, how far down they're drilling, and when you see this many residences close by, it suggests that they're not drilling too far. Anyway, with all that said, if this is a property that you guys are interested in pursuing, that you do want to purchase, we have two options for you up here. As you saw, we have the cash purchase price and we have the payments option. Let me talk about this one because it's a little more detailed. So if you click this button right here, it's going to take you to secure checkout. We're going to ask you for $500 down. It looks like it's $650. It's not. It's $500. But $500 down, that's the down payment. And then every month we're going to ding your credit card $150 every 30 days until the property is paid off. So at checkout, you enter your legal name for deed, tax address, where's Torrance County going to send the yearly bill. Agree to the terms of service, and on the next page you can enter credit or debit card information for that $500 deposit. Now, it should be noted, guys, if you're like, hey, I don't want to agree to pay something if they're going to give me a contract and I can't look at the contract, look at this, guys. Check this out. We have a copy of the contract. Come here, click on this link. It will take you to a generic version of one of our standard land contracts. Of course, we do not deed the property. Let me refresh this browser. We do not deed the property into your name until such time as all the payments have been made. That being said, between now and that period of time, we have the land contract, which is the document which demonstrates your quote-unquote equitable interest in the land. Feel free to read this over so you know what you're going to be asked to sign in advance. That being said, I do want to point out to you, all of our contracts include prepayment incentives, no prepayment penalties, the biggest one, of course, being the first 90 days, same as cash. So on this property, the cash price is $1,750 plus a $150 dock prep fee. So get this paid off anytime in the first 90 days. You win the lottery next week. We're not charging you the full amount. We're only charging you the cash price. Whatever the case, I would encourage you guys to look through the contract if this is something that you're serious about pursuing. Just be aware of things like late fees, about the fact that you'd be responsible for the taxes, so on and so forth. Now, I'm really sorry this is appearing like this. It doesn't normally appear like this. Refresh the browser and it'll be fine. Now, let's say you've got all the money right now and you want to purchase the whole thing for cash right now. Get it deeded into your name immediately. That, too, is easy to do. Just click the cash price button right here. That, too, will take you to a secure checkout. We'll ask you the same questions: legal name for deed, tax address. Agree to the terms of service, click next, and on the next page you can enter the credit or debit card information to purchase the property for $1,900 total. For the record, as with all the properties on the website, this is for sale by owner. Our company owns all these properties. So once you give us the money, as far as we are concerned, you now own the property. That being said, realistically, it will be about 3 weeks before you will have a recorded deed in your hand. The way this works is from the time you give us money, within 24 hours, we will have documentation to you in an email, copy the new deed, some supplemental docs. Once you approve everything, we're going to autograph it, notarize it, mail it off to the county to be recorded. Once the county records, they will forward it on to you. So as noted, about 3 weeks before that's actually in your hands. That being said, once you give us the money, as far as we're concerned, it is yours to do with as you please. Go out there, begin camping, building, whatever. And yeah. Anyway, with all that said, thank you guys for watching. I hope I didn't go through this too fast. If you do have any additional questions about this, feel free to give us an email, support@hemingwayland.com. Leave a comment here on the YouTube, or give us a call, 702-919-7170. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you in the next video.